Welcome back, everybody. Try Before We Die, the whiskey review show where we don't know what we're drinking, but we'll tell you what we're thinking. Hey, Matt.
Mahalo.
Tasty waves. Hey, I got you something.
Will you?
Yeah.
You should, one time. This time.
This
time.
When I bring them together. Just saying, the things you do with a long braided beard.
Push a button.
Hundreds of bottles of whiskey in this bar. Do we prepare in advance?
No.
Never. Probably obvious by now. Why don't you push?
All right.
All right, I'll let you know when to stop. This is Randy, our number generator. He works for nothing. That's great. Stop. It's batch 15 of a Laphroaig. Oh boy, you're in trouble. Why would I say you're in trouble?
Because this is going to be smoky and peaty.
Oh, why would it be extra smoky and peaty?
We're on the high end.
What makes a whiskey on the high end?
The ABV.
What brings the ABV up?
Alcohol.
What kind of release almost guarantees high ABV? Definitely guarantees high ABV. It's blank.
Cask Strength.
Cask Strength, baby. This is the 10-year-old batch 15 from December of 2021, coming in at 56.5 or 113 proof. The Laphroaig. It's time to open this bottle.
Try before we die with a bearded man and a British guy.
It happened again.
It did.
It's like magic.
It is like magic.
It's not the...
I know.
What are you going to do? We're going to get a doorman.
Something.
Something.
At least a list. And a velvet rope.
On the list. Us. Not on you. Okay, so here we go, everybody. We pulled bottle number 7. The Laphroaig batch 15 cask strength from December 21. Coming in at 56.5, 113 proof. This could be a gym sock in a locker, then roasted on a campfire.
Oh, it will be.
Let's get it opened, because we know it needs to breathe, and we'll talk a little bit about how afraid we are.
And who is with us.
As always, we pull it, we open it. I want to pop the cork with the wrap. Okay, here we go. As always, that was to
make sure the cork comes out.
Assist in preventing a cork failure. Got it. I think we got it.
Wow. That had some life to it.
It's so good. It's so good. We've learned to appreciate this.
Correct.
But let's see if we hear a gurgle. I'm going to join a conga band. Okay, the Laphroaig batch. Oh my gosh. All right. It's like a mean genie. Don't let me out. Don't put me back in. Okay, Laphroaig, original cask strength, one of the most richly flavored of all Scotch whiskies.
And this is not what's his name's drink, right?
Offerman is Lagavulin.
Lagavulin.
Yeah. Emphatic, full-bodied, and utterly unforgettable 10-year-old cask strength Laphroaig is the authentic way to experience the rugged character of our uncompromising Scotch whiskey. This Islay single malt is non-chill filtered and bottled at natural cask strength, depth of genuine taste and texture normally associated with sampling a whiskey at its source, meaning that if you were in the warehouse and they were just pulling straight from the cask and letting you know, this is where our whiskey begins before we cut it down to an acceptable ABV. They're saying this is beginning, middle, and end. They talk a little bit about water, strong hints of the sea, some sweetness, rich aroma of smoke. But we knew that when we pulled the Laphroaig.
So, just a quick question before we get to our guest.
Yeah.
Where do you think, let's just say, where do you think ABV starts for these 40s and these 43s? Do you think it starts very low and they bring it up? Or do you think it starts very high and they bring it down?
Oftentimes, the distillate, when it's moved to barrel, right, we are talking about that 70% range.
Okay.
Okay. And as it evaporates over time, right, we wind up with because alcohol evaporates, right? So that's why we see generally cask strengths in that mid to high 50s. Sometimes we'll see them starting to cross that line into a 60. I think we have a raw cask from Blackadder, a Mortlock around here at a 62.7. So that's really the beginning range of the spirit when it hits the barrel.
All right.
Right. And then it drops down through evaporation and whatnot. And then when they bring it down, it's through the addition of water.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
All right. I got a question.
Who's this guy?
Who's this guy?
You know, this is going to go back again. I don't really know who this guy is.
All right. Probably bought a ticket out front. Probably like anybody got a ticket for the show. This is what I know. Mike, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Mike, welcome to the Bitter End, right?
Thank you for
and
having me.
for Try Before We Die, our whiskey review show. I do believe that you are here through Malcolm at
Correct.
some level.
That
So
is
how
correct.
is that connection
So
taking
we
place?
we have a friend that you would know,
Yep.
in Michelle.
Yes?
So I met Mike on our travels going to Kilkenny's now. So now we've moved a couple of decades further up.
We've talked a lot about Panucci's Ale House, the original beer hall in Keene, our surrogate hometown.
Yep.
Right. And then as the city council loosened up some of their regulations and allowed other bars to open that weren't connected to restaurants, Kilkenny's was really the next iteration
Yes.
of that.
That was the 2000s.
Right. I remember opening night at Kilkenny's because that's when Nate and I owned the homebrew
Which was
business.
right across the road.
And they were having a panic about they couldn't get some of their taps to work. And we're hopeful that we had some of the materials that they needed. And we didn't, but we did try to sell them other stuff.
So I've known Mike through Kilkenny's,
Yeah.
through Michelle, various parties, country
Yeah.
places we've been
Yes,
to.
yes,
stuff like
yes.
that. Mike also has a wood working background.
Okay.
And is an amazing woodworker.
You were telling me last night, I think. So this,
Correct.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, he's spent a lot of time in that background. So
Okay.
we have these similar backgrounds.
Yeah.
Did you work for Carlisle at some
I
stage?
did, yeah.
So we both worked for the same company at some stage of our lives.
Weren't you involved with espionage?
Very much so.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember. I
It's the
remember.
good old days.
Yeah.
That's why 007 and a
Yeah.
half days.
Yeah.
But I've known Mike since then. And then obviously with Facebook, you can keep in touch with people
Yeah.
you don't see on a regular
Or
basis.
reconnect.
Or reconnect. And I don't go into town as much. We both.
I
have
just
a bar right
adjusted
here.
my eyes, and you know what happened? Nothing but Laphroaig. Just for touching the bottle.
But yeah, so I've known Mike for probably maybe a decade now.
10, 12
Well,
years for sure.
All right, welcome to the bar.
Thank you.
Let us know before we move into this experience, which will be good. I'm actually looking forward to it. Where's your Scotch whiskey journey begin?
I'm going to say probably 5 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, right in that 39, 40-year-old
Yeah.
starting.
What's the circumstance? Was it a relative? Was it a friend? Was it just pure curiosity?
I would say friend and some curiosity,
Yeah.
for sure.
Have you come to realize that there is such a wide range of Scotch whiskies, that it's not all just this, which is what most people who don't know think Scotch whiskey is.
Yeah.
Smoky and peaty. Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
There's a lot more
many-
happening.
So many different things going on.
Well, though there are so many different things going on in the Scotch whiskey world, as Mike points out, and he's right, today we're going back to what most people think about Scotch whiskey, which is smoky and peaty, and they will often be like, no, I'm all set with that, right? In fact, even Jameson's, the well-known Irish whiskey brand, had an advertisement scheme for a while that was Scotch without the smoke, right? Because smoke is so linked to Scotch whiskey, especially about 10, 15 years ago. It was just, people thought of it that way. So here you go, Mike.
Thank you.
There you go. I got you your Moron G glass.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about color here, because again, like many things that we've experienced, the color of this whiskey betrays what we probably are going to experience. Looks so calm and pleasant, inviting, refreshing. We have sort of a medium amber, light to medium amber.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And going to that color, what now, and I touch on this every so often, is the amazing range of color in the different regions that we try. We have tried certain ones that are so clear that you're like, oh, there's nothing to that. And this one is like what I would consider a traditional color for a Scotch. It's that amber color.
I agree with you. I would say it's a little on the light
Maybe
side
on the
of
light
that
side.
spectrum.
Maybe a little bit on the light side.
Mike, anything jumping out at you regarding a color?
I think you guys have nailed it, honestly. There's that amber for sure. Maybe a little on the honeyish side.
Okay, yep.
yeah.
I could see a early fall honey. Again, though we know what's about to happen to us in many ways, though we haven't had this particular batch. Oh, I finally
Well,
have.
two of us do.
Do you see this?
Yeah.
This nice streaked leg. It has taken this entire time we've been chatting to develop a leg.
Yeah, I watched yours sit at the top for the longest time. And I'm like waiting for it to drop. And I'm like, it's not dropping yet. And
Right.
now you get these long legs
Yeah.
where it's taken off and there's a few short ones that are just starting out.
So we have a perhaps precursor to we may have an oily. All right, so we're in agreement. We're on the lighter side of the amber spectrum, bordering on medium, maybe an early fall honey. We know what we're about to get on some level, but we're about to find out. So should we nose this? Now, Mike, of course, these lids are designed to trap. So you're first nosing, I mean, put your nose in there and breathe deep, baby.
And watch your nostrils freaking.
Yeah, and if you're coughing and all that, it's okay.
It's okay.
Take it.
That's an eye opener.
Woo!
And that was like, the first hit was like pure medicinal. Just straight through.
My eyes
Like
are
smelling
watering
salts.
a little bit.
Just
I'm
like smelling salts.
A little misty in the eye from that, yeah.
But at the exact same time, there is something light and refreshing about this nose. I mean, it is pungent, it is punchy, but it's not as rich as I imagined. There's a light quality to the depth of this nosing.
That peat
It is lasting though. It is not mellowing very much at all.
And there's like some sweet.
There is something sweet. And I think they had sweet on here. Let's see what they've said here. Rich aroma of
Floral.
peat smoke with some sweetness and strong hints of the sea. So we're going to look for some brine, some maritime characters as well.
Anything that stands out to you that you can smell apart from your like loss of like your nostrils,
Or at least nostril hair.
nostril hair? Is there anything that like stands out? If you were to say, this is what this smells like.
I get, and this is probably odd, I get a smell of burnt birch.
So I was about to
Okay.
bring up the campfire.
Yes,
The smoke.
Right.
exactly.
Right. The beach campfire. It's almost as if there could be some sand between our toes. Birch, of course, is a sweet burning bark.
Yes.
Right. It's not a high quality BTU firewood, but it's an excellent burning wood and a highly recognizable scent. All right. It has finally relaxed. Right.
It took a little bit.
And so we've been here before, folks, right, with this idea of like, this intimidation piece that we have to just move right past and have the experience and not be predisposed to an opinion without having a reason for our opinion.
It's weird. The one thing I will say is weird, and it's probably the way I've got the glass. In certain aspects, you can really pick up the sea if you drop the lip of it is near your nostrils, it's almost like it funnels down. I get this freaking sea spray.
Again, I do feel like I'm on a beach campfire here. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. And I'm not nervous.
Like I said a couple of seasons ago,
Yeah.
would have been out the door.
All right, well, let's try batch 15, December 21 release, cask strength, 58.5, 113 proof, Laphroaig. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Don't be afraid.
So salty.
Very salty as it rests in the front of your mouth. Then the peat develops, but it is not, nor would we expect it to be, but it is not revolting at all. It is, in some ways, for this ABV, this is a very smooth whiskey.
I'm going to throw him on the spot because he is the newcomer. What was your impression? Were you worried?
I was, but that is not nearly as violent as I thought it would be. It's actually quite nice.
It is, for all the ABV, for what it is, where it's from, what they're known for. This is a smooth whiskey, though it is high ABV.
Yes.
I did struggle a little bit with there's a lot going on
I have
there.
a little fire in my belly,
Right.
but not overwhelming. But the weird thing is I have nothing really here.
I am warm all through my core.
Really? I'm like right in here, not really here.
There's not much left in my mouth other than just this very leftover seaside earth.
Salty sweetness.
Salty
Yeah.
taffy. Salt taffy.
Yeah.
I think that's perfect.
And it has enough mouthfeel to not be overwhelming,
Right. It's not
But
amazingly oily.
but not that it doesn't leave a lingering taste behind.
It is likely that one of the releases will be in the new book. So let's see. So this is a L H T L.
That's good.
Let's see if it makes the book. Laphroaig. What is this? This is the Cask Strength. Laphroaig Cask Strength, 10-year-old. This is exactly what we have, right?
Yes.
10-year-old. Okay. So this is the 58. So we're at the 58.5. So it's a slightly different batch, but vanilla, pancake syrup, rum, patchouli. Now that's interesting. Papaya, camphor, yes, for sure. Forest, water makes it more volatile. For such a high proof, this one works even without water. I think we're in agreement with that, right?
Absolutely.
The alcohol integrates nicely with big flavors. Thick ginger, menthol, grilled fish skins, chicken soup, grilled orange, hot dogs, mulled wine, a bit of stone fruit, and slightly anesthetic. So the one that jumped out at me as for curiosity would be the patchouli and the camphor and the grilled fish skin.
Not really knowing what patchouli tastes like, but having smelt a lot of it in my life. Again, maybe not as developed as a tasting, so I don't have that ability to freaking pull certain things out. But I get where they're going with that.
Yeah.
I do understand where they're going with that. And for me,
patchouli would be what a dirty hippie would cover up their scent with, right? And so there is this element, if we're going to go into the gym sock, the locker, the burnt everything, this could be covered up dirty hippie.
yeah, I mean, there is a sweet, at the very beginning, before you get that salt taffy, there is a sweet, there is something there.
Yeah. The sweetness is absolutely present. Look at Mike going for it.
I know,
right?
he's enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's good. And
It's good.
it's very good.
This whiskey, okay. So as we've learned and Mike is learning, that let's not be put off by what the traditional thought is.
Correct.
But let's have the experience, right? It makes it expands your range of knowledge, right? It's like reading books that don't interest you necessarily, but then later on, and it might be in a month and it might be in a year or a decade, you have something to draw from in a conversation or a new experience to be like, this reminds me of, and that increases your well-roundedness, right? And so that's true in literature, and that's true in the whiskey world. So Mal has done the water thing.
If you would like, it is right there. I'm not quite sure if you ever used one of these, but you basically put it in there.
I'm going to do this neat.
All right. So I'm going to throw this in. And you know what I would like to try with this?
Smoked oysters?
No. What I would like to try with this is the sea salt chocolate.
Yes. Right here. Nope. Intense orange.
Right
This
there.
one.
Touch this off. What are you?
I'm going to have an oyster.
Okay, you do that.
Right. Because I think you're not a fish man or anything, I would recommend this sea salt as well because of how salty the beginning presentation was. So,
Oh, thank you.
of course. That is a smoked oyster.
Wow.
Oh my gosh! The grilled fish. It's there.
All right.
That's a stunning expansion of the palate. Unbelievable. These oysters are really fairly mellow in their flavor. The smoke is more present than the oyster, but it brought out a fishiness, and as a fish eater, super pleasant. And you're saying the sea salt chocolate worked?
Made it like a milkshake.
Absolutely agree.
Like a milkshake.
Like a milkshake.
That puts that bottle on a very dangerous level.
Mike-
If you couldn't stomach, let's just say you struggle with the whole aspect of Islay,
Mhm.
smoke, salt,
Mhm.
briny, freaking everything that you were like, I don't want to, no. If you were to freaking say, I'm going to pour you a glass of this bottle, but you're going to eat this chocolate first.
Yeah.
And then you handed this glass to someone, you could get them really, really, really drunk.
Heard it here first. Mike, we're going to wrap it up. When would you drink this whiskey? What's the circumstance?
First drink with friends for a dinner, paired with that chocolate. Or
Okay.
directly after dinner,
Yeah.
paired with that chocolate.
For me,
Or all day long.
Right,
Or
for
paired with
me-
that chocolate.
Paired with that chocolate.
this drink is with a seaside dinner.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. The Laphroaig Batch 15 December 21 release coming in at 58.5. As usual, we're like, let's see what the crew has in store for us. To those of us who have been sued in the world, this is for you. And may your coffee and slander against you be ever alike, without grounds.
Cheers.
So that oyster just brought me to this fish dinner. It's awesome. I am going to try it with that salted chocolate. But, Mike Mao, again, this is just one of those experiences where the whiskey outlives the reputation. Right?
Correct.
You go in with trepidation and you walk out with a recommendation. You know what? I know a Cask Strength Laphroaig that you should try. To anybody who says Islay and smoked whiskeys aren't my game.
This is the first one I truly thought was salty.